Hey everyone, welcome to the show. I have a bunch of updates to share about Donald Trump cases and investigations. So first, on Tuesday evening, the New York Times reported that they had obtained a coup memo that was drafted by attorney Kenneth Chesebro. So this is different than the one that was drafted by the other attorney of Donald Trump's, John Eastman. Chesebro, as you'll recall, he is co-conspirator number 5, I believe it is. And the memo was mentioned in Trump's indictment, but there weren't any specifics. Well, they got a hold of it. It's 6 pages long, and it details his plan to steal the election for Trump. Part 1 is titled The Trump-Pence Electors in All 6 Contested States Must Vote. So Chesebro starts this section by saying, quote, I've mulled over how January might play out, and it seems feasible that the Trump campaign can prevent Biden from amassing 270 electoral votes on January 6th. He then provided bullet points for how to carry out this plan. And then the next page notes, quote, it is important that the alternate slates of electors meet and vote on December 14 if we are to create a scenario under which Biden can be prevented from reaching 270 electoral votes, even if Trump has not managed by then to obtain court decisions or state legislative resolutions, invalidating enough results to push Biden below 270. Also, quote, I believe that what can be achieved on January 6 is not simply to keep Biden below 270 electoral votes. It seems feasible that the vote count can be conducted so that at no point will Trump be behind in the electoral vote count unless and until Biden can obtain a favorable decision from the Supreme Court upholding the Electoral Count Act as constitutional, or otherwise recognizing the power of Congress and not the president of the Senate to count the votes. So what he's saying here is we can hold it up and Biden will either have to go to the Supreme Court or he could get a judgment, or we could get a judgment saying, oh no, Congress is the one who decides on the electoral votes, not the president of the Senate, meaning the vice president, which is laid out in the Constitution. I mean, imagine if this was reversed. Imagine if Democrats said, oh, no, we're not going to allow the Constitution to dictate who is elected and the voters. That's crazy. We're going to allow Congress to do it. So he ends this section with, quote, I recognize that what I suggest is bold and controversial strategy and also illegal. Then Chesebro goes on to talk about how to frame this in the media if their fake electors plan leaks out. He wrote, quote, perhaps before then, there should be messaging that presents this as a routine measure that is necessary to ensure that in the event the courts or state legislatures were to later conclude that Trump actually won the state, the correct electoral slate can be counted in Congress in January. We all know that's exactly what they did. That's how they explained it. Well, now we have in black and white evidence this was all contrived. This was a pre-planned excuse to cover their asses when the real goal was to cause chaos on January 6th, to give cover and to justify Mike Pence's refusal, or so they hoped, to certify the election. It is so unbelievable. And they put it in writing. I mean, it's insane. In related news, the DC grand jury reconvened on Tuesday of this week, so Jack Smith is definitely not done with people like Chesebro. Also, Trump ally Bernie Kerik met with a special prosecutor for 5 hours on Monday. And the focus of that meeting was to discuss what steps Rudy Giuliani took to try to gather evidence about the stolen election that wasn't. And security has reportedly been ramped up for the judge in this case, Tanya Chutkan, Not really a surprise considering all of the threats being made by MAGA. Next up is news out of Georgia. Word is that the Fulton County grand jury will be presented with the case against Trump and his allies next week. As for the classified documents case, Trump is trying to convince Judge Cannon to allow him to review the evidence in this case at Mar-a-Lago, meaning the classified documents. I mean, talk about returning to the scene of the crime, right? This is like dragging the dead body back to the murder site. If this judge was anyone else, if this was a real judge, it wouldn't even be a consideration. But, it's Trump bootlicker Aileen Cannon, so it might just fly. Also, Trump's newest co-defendant in the case, Carlos de Oliveira, is said to be finding it difficult to locate a Florida criminal defense attorney. So it's not clear if this is just a delay tactic or if truly local attorneys just are unwilling to take on his case. So we will find out, I guess, in the near future. Of course, they are trying to drag it out. So even if he is having a hard time, I'm sure they're not too worried about it. I'm sure he's not trying all that hard. Anyway, guys, when I hear more, I will let you know. Thank you all so much for watching and listening. Please like, share, and subscribe. Please become a donor if possible. Love you all. Take care. Talk with you soon.